morning, stampers and crafters. Thank you for joining me today. Today's project is this very simple yet very classy Father's Day card. And we're going to do some embossing today. There's dry embossing in the front. And even though this is very simple and very easy to make, I think this is very classy, and your dad, your grandpa, or whoever is definitely going to love this card. It's just really simple and very manly. And in the front it says thankful for you, because we're all thankful for our dads. And on the inside is the surprise. And there's a window and it goes like this. It's interactive and very dimensional, so it's very elegant, and I think it creates a huge impact, and it looks very pretty. And in the front it says, a father is someone to look up to no matter how tall you've grown. And of course it shows this tall tree inside of the window, and then there's the bicycle. So this can be given by a daughter or a son to their fathers, and I thought this is just really a beautiful card. So if you're interested to see how I made this card, then please keep watching. We are going to need a couple of things to create this card. First of all, we need one 8.5 by 11 cardstock and cut at 5.5. So this is measured 5.5 by 8.5. So you need 2 of those. So basically just one 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And then you need your designer series paper if you don't want this white on white. This is just basically 4 inches by 5.25, and then the one that we're going to emboss in the front of the card is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then of course we will need some framelits, and I use my framelits labels collection from Stampin' Up, and you can use any type of framelits that you have. If you have a rectangular framelit or an oval framelit, then you can use that. I specifically like this design right here because it makes it look more ornate. So I'm using the 4th in this framelit set, and I already mark the center of my framelits. You will need to kind of center your framelit in your card. And then of course I'm using the stamp set from Stampin' Up, and this is still available. In fact, this just came out with our new catalog, and this is called the Sheltering Tree, and we're using the sentiment right here, thankful for you. And of course the nice lovely tree over here, this image right here to create the grass, and of course this to create the leaves and the bicycle. Of course, I didn't have a Happy Father's Day stamp set. This, what I have here, this Happy Father's Day stamp set, is from the Paper Pumpkin last year, so that's what we're stamping inside. And then the sentiment, I use this. I happen to have this stamp set, so I'm trying to use all of my stamps that I have from my stash. This is called Look Up to Father. And I'm not using the tree background here. I guess I could have used it inside the card, but I really wanted this tree image right here in the sheltering tree because it's very easy to stamp because it's photo polymer stamp, and this one is rubber, so it's kind of like hard to line it up. But you can use any sentiment you want. I actually masked this using the whatever I cut from the cardstock earlier. I just covered the tree and I just used the sentiment. So the first thing that we will need to do is score one of the cardstock. The other one you needed to just set aside, and we're not going to score this yet until after we stamp the image in the middle. But for this other one, which is the inside part of the card, it's this panel, we are going to score this real quick. On the 8.5 side, we will score our cardstock at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 6 3/8. So you will have 3 score lines. I'm not really sure if you can see that on the camera. And what we're going to do now is get our framelit. And we're just going to cut If you can see the middle of this cardstock, which is actually the middle of the card, if you can see the middle, I'm just going to line up my framelit. And as you can see, I already found the center of the framelit. And what we're going to do now is to just try to find our center point. And we are going to cut a window. So I'm just trying to find the center of the cardstock there. And I'm just lining up my framelit, making sure it's right in the middle. And all I'm gonna do now is run this through my Big Shot. I'm just putting a post-it tape right here. And I'm going to run this through my Big Shot so I could cut this window piece right. You know what? I decided that I'm just going to stamp this sentiment here first before I actually cut the window part on the cardstock, because it will probably be easier for me to line it up. So I'm just and I guess that's good enough. So we're going to cut the window part of the card. So as you can see, I'm just lining it up and I'm just putting my post-it tape once again. And even though I kind of messed up a little bit there, it doesn't matter because we are actually going to cut this portion to make the window for the card. So now that we have cut the window part and stamped our first sentiment, we're just going to fold the card. So this one will go like so. You're just going to fold this because this is the one that's going to, so we're basically looking at a letter M like so. So this one we're going to fold towards us. And this one is going to fold like so again. And that's the one that's going to, this portion right here, we will put adhesive, and over here as well. That's going to create the window or the tunnel part of your card, like you see on this one. We need to get our other cardstock. So what I'm going to do is just line up the cardstock that I already have here, and I'm just going to draw a really light pencil mark. And I'm just going to make sure that the image is lined up properly. So we're going to get our stamp image now. The first image that we're going to stamp is the main tree trunk itself. So this is what I have, and as you can see, photopolymer stamp is just so easy to line up. Now that we have the inside panel stamped and sorted out, this is the time to score the card in half. So we're just folding it, and that is scoring at 4 1/4, and I'm just using my bone folder right here to get a crisp fold. Make sure and wait that your stamp is dry before you actually fold the card. So that's what's going to go inside the card, and this one is going to be layered on top of that. Now that I have stamped the sentiment and I already have this other sentiment stamped, then we are just going to line up the card and create the inside piece of our card. So all we have to do is fold this piece. I'm actually going to flip it over because I'm using my tape runner, and I'm just going to put adhesive. Do this one at a time so you can line it up properly. And that's the inside portion of the card. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's really perfect. And then we're going to work on the decoration in the front of the card now. So to match the ink on my card, which is what's good about Stampin' Up, because everything just matches, color coordinated. The ink right here is pistachio pudding. So I have a pistachio pudding cardstock or designer series paper over here that's going to go on the front panel of my card. So once again, I have my clear block here, and I just want to stamp this, and I have my Memento Tuxedo Black. So we are just going to put adhesive at the back of this. So the last thing that we will need is either get your Stampin' Dimensional, and our card is finished. Isn't that amazing? It's classy, it's beautiful, it's simple. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you like this card, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you on my next video tutorial or my other crafting videos. Bye for now.